Hello and welcome to another one of my book reviews. Today, I want to talk to you about The Keeper 6 by Kate Elliott. Now, Kate Elliott is an author that I had not read prior to this year. I believe it was this year when I read The Servant Mage, which received a lot of praise. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters, and I especially love the world building. One of my complaints of that novella was that it was too short. I wanted more world building. Thanks to the signed page, I got a nice signed and personalized copy of The Keeper 6, which is unrelated to Servant Mage. But I mean, it is also by Kate Elliott. It's in its own separate world. And look at all of these books she's published. I can safely say, after having read Keeper 6, that I still want to read more Kate Elliott. I think I need to take on one of her novels next because once again, I felt that the shorter length, this is what, like 180 pages? Yeah, like just under 200 pages. It did itself a disservice with the length. Ironically, I actually kind of had the inverse opinion of this than I did Servant Mage. Like I said, Servant Mage, I wanted more world building. I really wanted to get into it. She had superb world building, but it's very rapid pace because you had, limited number of pages. Keeper 6, I kind of felt kind of did away with the, I don't want to say the plot, but it did away with the depth of the character building in terms of the world building. This, I'm not gonna say had too much world building because that is certainly, well, I mean, that can be a thing. It's not really the thing here, but this definitely throws you into the world building first and foremost. The premise is simple. Esther, a woman who's 60. I don't even know if they gave her actual age. She's, I don't want to say elderly. 60 is not elderly, but she's, for a hero, for a heroine, she's kind of older. Not your traditional age for a hero. She's a mother. She's a mother of grown adults, and she's awoken one night to discover that her son Daniel, has been kidnapped. And so, not only has he been kidnapped, but he's been kidnapped by another dimension. So that is where you're kind of thrust into this short novel. Is that this novel deals with the multiverse? It deals with different dimensions. It deals with the beyond, and it's up to Esther and her Hex. She's a part of Hex, which is like your little troop, your troop of 6 people. Hence, Hexagon. Hence the Keeper 6. Although I will say the Keeper 6 implies that, the Keeper himself, which is Daniel, has 6 others, but he's really one of the 6, but I'm not going to nitpick there. So each person in the Hex has their own role. You have a voice who is kind of the translator for different species that you run into. You have the Shotgun, who is your warrior knight. It's basically your D&D party. Everyone has their own role to play, and it was fascinating. I loved reading about the beyond. I loved reading about the different rules and the structure because there is structure to this. There is there's a hierarchy. There's a council, the Concilium. Concilium has banished Esther and her Hex from the beyond, and so she has to kind of break the law to go and save her son. To which there's no ends. She will go to save her son. And it's a decent tale. It's not bad. There is, I mean, obviously, being a Hex, supposed to be 6. Daniel being locked up from the start of the novella or short novel. They do get another 6th person who is a traveler, who is kind of a representative of the kidnappers. Who serves as just the best expositionary sponge. He is very fresh to the beyond. He's not familiar with it, so there is a lot of exposition dumps where Esther and company kind of tell and teach this character about the beyond, and so they're telling and teaching us as the reader. So unfortunately, that is my biggest complaint about it. Like I said, it's not a bad story. It's very fascinating. I just felt that in the 200 pages, there are a lot of exposition dumps. I mean, you have to have exposition dumps to create that world. And unfortunately, it does kind of take away from character development, which there isn't really much character development. I mean, a lot of the 6 are their stereotypical D&D archetypes, which isn't a bad thing, especially being a short length novella or short novel or long novella, depending on how you want to classify it. But it's one of those things where, like, I feel like if it was 300 pages, 350 pages, it could have balanced it out well and just been sheer perfection from a fantasy standpoint. I mean, it's still a very good read, very fun read. Like I said, if you like world building, if you like dealing with dragons, but not your traditional dragons, then you're gonna love The Keeper 6. It has world building down pat. It has dragons, but not your traditional dragons. They share characteristics with the your stereotypical dragons, such as hordes. But there's very interesting ideas woven throughout. Just be aware that as you're reading it, you are going to get a lot of those ideas in expositional dumps. But hey, let's say it's very unique in having a story where you have an older protagonist, a mother who is going to, I don't even want to say the ends of the earth, because she's going beyond to save her child. But Esther, definitely a phenomenal character. Like I said, it's just the other parts of the hex, they kind of fall into their little pigeonholes. But seriously, it makes me want, between this and Servant Mage, which I did do a book review on Servant Mage, between both of those, it did make me want to go and read more Kate Elliott, to read a full-length Kate Elliott. So that is now going to be on my TBR pile as well. This is available wherever books are sold or through Tor.com. Like I said, this was a signed copy courtesy of the signed page. I believe it's sold out over there, but you should check out the signed page because it's really cool getting personalized books from authors you may not have met otherwise. It's just really cool. So thank you very much for the signed page, for another wonderful opportunity to add to my collection. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm trying to do a book review a week, playing catch up currently due to some longer reads and some health issues, but please consider liking and subscribing to check out more of these. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you around next time.